keep in mind that whatever that I'm about to say, I'm not saying it to offend you, because what you just said is blatantly ignorant. If interracial unions and kids worked, we would have seen it with the colored community. Please keep in mind that whatever that I'm about to say, I'm not saying it to offend you, because what you just said is blatantly ignorant. If interracial unions and kids worked, we would have seen it with the colored community. However, they seem to have the similar fate of that of black people. Banks in South Africa are not just discriminatory towards black people, they also discriminatory towards colored people. This is why when a white woman marries a black man, she automatically downgrades in comparison to when she should have married a white man. And this is why also majority of the time white women marry rich black men, because she understands that systematically you are still black. It's you who don't get it. Because her life automatically converts into yours. She no longer becomes a Van Beek, she is a Chinere. I hope I said your name right. Because of the choice of marrying you, she will then now receive the rates of colored people. Remember that this system was created by white man, so it works differently when a black woman marries a white man. However, she does not remain unharmed by systemic oppression. Individually, like her, like you, both of you are still black, married to white people. Remember again that South Africa racially profile people, so it picks that up. Unless you are not going to change your surname and you're not going to involve yourself in anything financial, she will have all legal access to everything, which means that everything is in her name. The cars, the house, yonkinto, so that you can get the benefits that white people receive through your wife, whom is a white woman. The same can be said about black women who marry white men. Can you allow yourself for your husband to take complete access of your finances where they have their name all over legal documents, giving them full power to represent you? That is an answer that you should give to yourself, all right? And if you can do that, then good luck. What black people fail to realize is that white people plan ahead, as in 50 to 100 years in advance. The steps that you're bound to take as a black person, they're pre-planned for you. The thought patterns, they're not even your own. They are those created for you by white people. So they know that black people will eventually want to marry white people for economic benefits, therefore creating the colored race, believing that that would be the way to solve systemic oppression, not realizing that white supremacy was built to benefit the white minority. Not anything that comes from the produce of white, black, Indian, Chinese, ECT, but white minority. If you are not white, you are not going to benefit. This is why the colored community is second to black people, or rather in the same bracket as black people with a few privileges there and there. But in overall, they are oppressed the same way. One of the reasons that they created apartheid is that they claimed that black men would use white women for economic liberation. Meanwhile, it was Indian men who would be in relationships with white women. Black men at that time did not want white women, by the way. It was only a few of those who decided that they wanted to marry white women. So they used those few men to push an agenda. Think of any white person that you may like, or the white person that likes you would never suggest to you that they should be married to your family. They know just how much of a good black person you are. But why don't they get married to your family? Because they know that marrying a black person is literally a downgrade. I remember also reading an article of a white prostitute who operated during apartheid, and she eventually fell in love with a black man. She said that it was much better to be a prostitute than to be married to a black person. And I'm quoting that love because I don't think that she loved him the way that she claimed. She mainly fantasized the idea of being with a black person, and she also claimed that it was one of the biggest mistakes that she ever made. If you are surrounded by colored people, if you live near colored communities, you would realize that even their house structures is similar to that of black people. Their way of life is that similar to black people. They have the second highest unemployment rate in South Africa. The problems that they have, social, economics, politics, are the same problems that black people have. Because it's even worse for them because they share similar ancestry with the people who are oppressing them. We as black people, we know that we have no direct link with white people, but they do. It's like literally watching your own mother create the system for you so that you can be oppressed by it. On top of that, when you're with a white person, they're gonna feel like they have power over you. Few relationships that are interracial are actually pure. Like few, literally few. Because we know that most of the time they marry for economic benefits, for social status, because they want that status that comes with white people. And none of those things has to do with love. It has to do with business, oftentimes. So on paper, you are still black. You're still a black person. And you're going to be treated like a black person. They're not going to encourage white Afrikaner girls to marry a black man. If anything, they're gonna punish them for even thinking of marrying a black person. This is why also when a white man gives a hand to a black person, just know that that man is loaded and he can financially take care of her, because he wouldn't do it any otherwise, because that's not what they teach their kids. They teach their kids to marry among their community so that the wealth stays within their community. The wealth does not need to extend to other people. It needs to stay in the white minority circle. This is why they have the lowest unemployment rate. This is why they earn higher than black people, Indians combined. This is why they enjoy the fruits of living in South Africa more than anybody else, because of the system that they built for themselves. Not built for you so that you can create half-breeds. I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. That's how they see it, because they don't even like the colored community as they claim that they do. They only use them whenever they need to gain something from them. It's the same way they use us when they want to gain something from us, because they know that we want to be singing praises of them and we want to be accepted by them. So we would do anything to be accepted by them.